this party started. Alright, let's go and turn down the music here. And let's do this. Oops, wrong button. Boom. How's it going, Rockstar? How was your weekend? I hope it was good. Let's go and get rid of these things. I'm doing something different now. I'm trying out a different look. I'm standing up instead of sitting down because I want to be more speakerish, if for lack of a better word. But honestly, have no notes, but I do have the timer ready for 11 minutes and 11 seconds. 11:11. So, welcome to Growtivation, a Hey Rockstar Mini Sode. Yeah, Growtivation. No, Growtivation, not gratification. Growtivation. It's motivation about growth. Our 11 minutes of value starts now. Hey, how's everyone doing? Let's just go straight into the value rant that I have for you guys today. This Sunday, got a chance to, well, I wasn't asked to serve, so I was able to just go and partake of the worship experience, listen to the message, have community. It was just some good times and much needed every now and then. As much as I love to serve, it's also pretty cool to just be there and experience worship. But Pastor Paul preached this Sunday, and he preached on consider the lilies, and it had to do with the verse where Jesus was talking about, look at the lilies, how beautiful they are, that King Solomon in all his glory never once was dressed as well as they were. And he brought up a point, although the message was about a lot about resting in the presence of God, trusting in Him. There was so much good points on it, but what's really stuck on me is a phrase that he kept using, or he used it, and he basically said that no matter what you do, you can never grow anything. You can't grow your bank account, you can't grow your business, you can't grow the hairs on your head. I mean, you can't do anything to grow that. And at first you're probably thinking, well, I can do these things. Like, I mean, no, I get it. You can actually position yourself. You can actually nurture yourself. You can actually do the work to prepare yourself. But the actual growth, the actual act of the little extensions of whatever, or if you were to cut yourself, you couldn't like forcefully heal your body. Your body has to heal itself, and it's technically out of your control, but you can do your part to keep it clean, to be healthy, so that your body can have what it needs to produce. But it got me thinking about just the rockstar mindset, or just growth, because I know we talked about a lot about, if you want to change who you are, you want to change where you're at, you need to start growing in value. You need to start, and I guess I've used that word because I've heard other people use it. But as I started thinking about that phrase, that you're not in charge of your growth. You're not responsible for your growth. The weight that took off of me, the mind rest that I was able to receive on the, you know what, the results aren't really, I'm trying to get to this thought, because yes, I want you to do the work. We need to do the work. We need to give our lives the best chance possible, and we need to set ourselves. We need to position ourselves in the right place at the right time, or we need to at least get mentally ready, physically ready, whatever we can. Just start doing the work towards allowing ourselves to be in that moment where we're ready so that growth can happen. But the beauty is when you're faithful, and the one thing that we speak on a lot here at Hey Rockstar is being faithful to the disciplines that you've established in your life. For example, mine are 5, and I'll be the first to tell you, I slacked off on a lot. I've slacked off on the physical part. The last few weeks, I have not been eating healthy like I was disciplining myself to. I gave into a little bit of luxury. I gave into a lot of bit of luxury, a lot of bit of sugar, mainly in sweet tea. You know, here in the South, especially when the heat's on, it's just easier to just grab a nice tall glass of, or drive by your favorite restaurant and get a tall glass of Southern sweet tea, and it's so good. The sugar is just there, and before you know it, you drink like half a gallon of that stuff. And you know, during the talk, or during the episode 35 with Dr. Drake Dudley, I mentioned that the one concept that has been going on through my head is own it. Own your mistakes. Own the fact that you are where you're at because of what you've done. Don't blame anyone else. Don't blame the situation, the circumstances. You own the fact that you made the choice to not be disciplined, and I had to own the fact. I had to own, especially when my clothes started to feel snuggy, and I'm like, "Ay, caray, ¿qué hiciste, Josafat? What did you do, Josafat?" But I owned it. I owned the fact that I chose to indulge for the season, and knowing that it was my fault that I could do that change. Like, well, now I can change. If I'm to blame for slacking off and not being faithful to my workout or to my health regime, or not, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Regime. You guys can correct me later on. But if I'm also the one who needs to, well, if I'm responsible for that, then I'm also responsible for the change. And change is possible. You know, if you gain the weight, you can also lose the weight. You just got to be disciplined. You got to get back to that mindset of, you know what? I am going to be faithful to doing the work every day. However painful, however little, however, I'm not going to seek the motivation. I'm not going to seek them sexy. I'm going to seek discipline. And I'm getting back on it. And this morning, it hurt. It took me twice as long to do my routine because I was out of shape. But I'm getting back to doing the steps towards going back to the healthy lifestyle that I was having, that I was working towards. Other areas in my life, I've been, as far as like in the financial, I've been changing, I've been seeking, I've been looking for better opportunities. I finally gave myself permission to move out of where I was at. I was thankful for the opportunities given to me when I was in need, but now that there's abundance around me, I don't have to stay here. I had to give myself permission to move out, to move forward, to become the rock star and do what needs to be done to continue on the rock star path that I'm on. And so I started to position myself. I started sending applications. I went in on just a whim and walked into one of the places just to check out the environment. And you know me, I get to talking to people. I get to just exploring. And I met one person and he introduced me to another person and then another person. Before you know it, I was meeting all the main people in charge, all the decision makers. I was meeting them, and before I left, they had me an application, said, "Hey, we know you filled one out online, but we want you to fill this one out." So I did, brought out my application. The very next day, they set up an appointment or an interview. But I position myself, whether I get it or no, or whether I grow in that area. I'm not in charge of that. I'm just in charge of doing the work, positioning myself, getting ready, learning what I need to learn, working on what I need to work on, because growth will happen towards whatever I'm working towards. And whether I get it or not, I'm not going to be sad or bummed. Or if I get it, I'm not going to really, I'll be excited, I'll be really happy. But it's I guess what I'm trying to get at for the last few minutes is to encourage you, rock stars, not to focus so much on the actual result, not to focus so much on the growth. Yes, by all means, make a plan, write the vision, put the dream board up, get all the pictures and whatever you need to inspire you, but then start taking those little disciplined steps towards that. Whether you get there or not, Don't make that your responsibility. Your responsibility is to do the steps to get there. What you can do that step. And then once you're there, once you take that one step, then look around, figure out, all right, what's the next step that it's in my hands to do? And just be faithful to the process. Stay with the process. Stay with the plan. And as you're just being faithful and faithful and faithful, could be a week from now, could be a month from now, could be a year from now, however long, you're gonna look around. You're gonna get that momentum. You're gonna be having a life worth talking about, worth living, worth sharing with others. And then all of a sudden, you're gonna look back and people are like, "Hey, what's that behind you?" And you're gonna look around and you see in your trail of faithfulness, you have produced fruitfulness. You have produced growth. Well, actually, growth has happened because of the work you have put in. You have made the ground fertile, and growth will happen without you worrying about it. And you're just having a good life, and guess what? Your growth, the fruit, and we're just going into that imagery, whatever grows out is going to nourish people around you, is going to benefit those around you. You're going to be happy, you're going to be growing, you're going to be doing amazing things, you're going to be far advanced from where you are today, and the people in your path, the people in your life are going to be blessed, because that's a promise that people will be blessed because of your presence, because of your faithfulness, because of everything that you're doing. I love that promise in the book of promises where God says, I will bless those who bless you and curse those who curse you. So I tell everyone, don't curse me. It's not to your benefit to curse me. It's to your benefit to bless me, because my God will bless you in return. But anyway, that's a whole nother message. Today's message is Growtivation. Motivate you to grow. Motivate you to stay faithful to the process. Stay faithful to preparing and tending and doing the work, tilling the ground, making waves, moving forward, sweating, planting, going forward. Growth will happen. And it's going to happen because you have put in the work. That's what I want to share with you guys. Stay faithful. No plant that you put in the ground will grow overnight. You need to let it water. You need it to be watered. The seed needs to die. The seed of ego that it's up to me needs to die. And I'm going to finish with this. Okay, thank you. That seed of me needs to die so that life will come from that. Once the ego has died and you are now humble and you're faithful and you're doing the work, growth will happen and people will rejoice. You will rejoice. You will be happy. Anyway, I'm not going to take any more time. Take all this value that I have shared with you guys, apply it to your disciplines, apply it to your habits, and become the rock star of your industry. Episode 35, the podcast with interview with a rock star with Dr. Drake Dudley is already out. Go check it out on either Google Podcasts, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else you hear podcasts. Pretty much Anchor hits them all up. And this week, there's been a change in who's going to be interviewed. I need to double check with the person. We kind of talked yesterday, last minute. I brought in someone who I was going to schedule for a few months from now, but because the person had scheduled this month got called to a project and they just couldn't make it last minute. So we might just have to record their interview and play it later on. But I asked this other friend if they wouldn't mind me pulling them in from scheduling. He goes, they're like, cool, I think we can do that. So look for that this Thursday at 5:55 Central p.m. Central on this channel. Hey Rockstar. Looking forward to seeing you then. So until then, my family, my friends. Oh wait, we actually have a comment. Let's see what the comment is. I'm standing up, so I'm not as close to my computer, so I can't read it that bad. Oh, look at that. Do it! Just do it! I'm testing out the mic that's built in on this camera, because apparently it's supposed to be good too. So if that works, then for these mini shows, I'm gonna start doing the standing up, speaking like a speaker. And if the mic is good, we'll keep this mic, and so I won't have to set up the big mic for what I do. But until then, love you, Mac. Thank you for shouting out. No, I am not. Although I've been listening to comedy, I am not a stand-up comedian. All right, guys, you have a great week, and like I tell my media group, just go out there and bless the hell out of people. Much love and many blessings.